Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Strickland is the next controller of the state of California. And Tony got his start here in San Diego County when he was the campaign manager for Assemblyman Howard Kalugian, and spent many a night sleeping on Howard Kalugian's living room floor as a young campaign manager. But Tony and Audra Strickland have become an institution within the Republican Party. They are a bright face for the Republican Party. They represent the best in our party and principled leadership that we desperately need at every level of government. John Chung, our current state controller, has proven himself to be an obstructionist. He is not on the side of fiscal responsibility or reform. He is on one side only, and that is the side of the public employee labor unions who are continuing to exert political pressure in our state capital to run our state over the financial cliff. We need a state controller who is going to support reform. We need a state controller who is a proven fiscal conservative, who has a record of accomplishment, a record of achievement, who is known to the people of California and has won in difficult districts, both in the Assembly and the State Senate. Please welcome the next controller of the state of California, Tony Strickland.
Thank you, Ron Nearing. Let's give a round of applause for our great party chairman, Ron Nearing. I also like to introduce my beautiful bride, my favorite assemblywoman in Sacramento, Audra Strickland. You know, I'm often asked, and in fact, when we were doing the photo line earlier, I've always been asked, why do you do this? Why do you run for office? Why do you put yourself out there up front? You know, I have two very big reasons why I do this. Their names are Ruby Ruth, my little girl who's 4. And my little boy, we call him Tiny Tony. He's 2. You see, Ruby Ruth and Tiny Tony deserve to grow up in the California I grew up in. They deserve no less. And I think California is worth fighting for, don't you? I also remember a lesson. My hero in life, we have political heroes, sports heroes, but my hero is my father, Sergeant First Class Donald Strickland. You see, my dad served in Korea and Vietnam, served over 20 years in the military, fighting for the very freedoms that we enjoy today. And my father taught me, the most important lesson my father taught me was it's up to every generation to leave your state, nation, and community in a better spot than what you found. That's why I'm thankful that Meg Whitman stepped forward and is running to save us from the policies of the past. And Meg's focus and priorities are right on point. We need to fix the budget, we need to create jobs, and we need to reform education. I see it every day up in Sacramento, as does Nathan Fletcher, my wife, Mark Weiland, all that's here today. The California legislature has really become an economic development agency for states like Texas and Florida. And the old saying by Albert Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And really, that's what this election is about, isn't it? It's an election between the status quo and something new. If you're happy with the direction of California, then Jerry Brown, John Chung, and their out-of-touch San Francisco ticket is for you. If you think it's about time to bring accountability and a new vision to California, then Meg Whitman, myself, and the rest of our great team is the ticket for you. You see, we need to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of reading about inefficiencies in State Department and state agencies. And really, it's up to the controller to be the watchdog for the people of California. And every time we hear about inefficiencies in these department and state agencies, we hear it from the media. Those stories are frequently exposed by the investigative reports by the LA Times, the Sacramento Bee, the San Diego Union Tribune, leaving many to wonder, what are leaders like John Chung doing? Why is the media doing John Chung's job? 4 years ago, when John Chung ran for controller, he he promised to audit every square inch of state government. Few knew his plan centered on getting a subscription to the LA Times. But I gotta tell you, John Chung has chutzpah. In the wake of the Bell scandal, the controller arrived at the scene, press release in hand, proclaiming absence of transparency was the culprit. But just days later, the LA Times broke the real story. Not only did CalPERS know about the outrageous salaries in Bell, but they knew about him 4 years ago. That's right. As controller, John Chung, a member of the CalPERS Board of Administration, the board that oversees the management of the nation's largest pension fund, staff knew about the Bell scandal 4 years ago. And Mr. Chung blames a lack of transparency. I say it's a lack of accountability. What about the corruption at CalPERS? Once again, the media is doing the controller's job by exposing millions and millions that traded hands in the highest level of CalPERS. When the Sacramento Bee editorial page asked, why no criminal case at CalPERS? The controller has remained silent. Well, I'll tell you, those who know me know I don't remain silent at all. In fact, I think the best indication of future performance is looking at past performance. I'm very proud of my record in Sacramento. To just give you an illustration, thank you. To give you an illustration of the kind of leadership you'll have in me in the controller's office, I want to take you back to a different time in California history. Back at the beginning of the energy crisis, Gray Davis was extremely popular. Those in Sacramento were talking about him being the next president of the United States, believe it or not. Made sense. He was governor of the largest state. It's a prolific fundraiser. And he just got done winning the statewide campaign by 22 points. During that time, Gray Davis locked us into long-term 15, 20-year power contracts, these energy contracts. At that time, I said, you know, Gray Davis refused to disclose what he was spending on these high-powered contracts, these high long-term contracts. And at that time, I asked Gray Davis to release those documents because I think the people had a right to know how much it was costing to keep the lights on here in the state of California. He refused. So I did the only thing I thought I could do at the time. Again, at that time, I'm a 20-something assembly member. I took him to court in a lawsuit, Strickland v. Davis. Not only did we take the governor to court, we won the court case. And Gray Davis was forced to disclose that he locked in on these long-term power contracts at a higher price and the worst price during the spot market. Energy companies went back, renegotiated those contracts, and we saved ratepayers over $6 billion because we had the courage to fight for you, the people of California. The reason why I share that story with you, because that's exactly the kind of leadership that's needed today in the controller's office. Someone who will fight for you and treat the taxpayer dollars as if it was his own. And that's the kind of leadership I will bring to the controller's office that's sorely missing and has been missing for over 20 years. See, I would just like to conclude to say how proud I am to be part of this Republican ticket, this team. You know, I've been playing sports ever since I was a little kid. You know, ever since I could walk, I've been playing sports. I played basketball. I played everything under the sun. In fact, I played college basketball. I played pro basketball. I've been part of many teams. But I will tell you this right now. There's no team I've ever been more proud to be a part of than what I call Team Whitman. You see, I think our ticket is worth fighting for because we are the ticket that's going to turn California around. But as Meg Whitman says, in the power of many. You know, we can't do it alone. Damon Dunn can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. Abel Maldonado, Meg, Carly, the rest of the ticket. But I will tell you, we have a few short days left. And I'll tell you, it's going to be worth it when we change California. Isn't it about time we get rid of Barbara Boxer? Isn't it about time that Meg Whitman retires Jerry Brown once and for all? I'll tell you, I'm going to do everything in my power between now and Election Day. And I'm here today to thank you in advance for your dollars and hard-earned dollars, for your manning the phone banks, walking the precincts. Because I will tell you right now, when Meg Whitman gets there and takes that oath of office, when Damon Dunn, when Abel Maldonado, myself, and the rest of the ticket take that oath of office, you're all going to get goosebumps because you are part of the team that turned California around. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.